What's going on, everyone? My name's Tenebris and today we got a brand new player survey for Generation Zero. I really enjoy filling these out and making little videos on them so that you dudes can know that there's a player survey out there for you to fill out. As well, it's kind of fun to just share my general opinions on GZ as we go along here. So today, let's break into this survey and see what's in store in the future of GZ. So the intro to the survey reads here, we're always looking for ways to make improvements to Generation Zero, and we love getting your feedback. In this survey, we want to hear about how you feel about the game, our recent updates, as well as what you hope to see happen in coming updates. This survey should take no longer than 20 minutes to complete. So let's get to these first questions. I've been playing since launch here. How often do I play? At least once per week. How long is my average play session? More than 2 hours. Which platform do I primarily play on? PC using mouse and keyboard. Do I play Generation Zero through Game Pass? No, I do not. How likely is it that I would recommend the game? Solid 10. And how would I rate Generation Zero? Let's give it a solid 9. How do I prefer to play Generation Zero? Single player for the most part. And then here, please rank the following activities in order of preference from 1, which you enjoy the most, to 7, what you don't enjoy. So, I think improving my character would be number 3. Hunting machines would be number 1. And probably building and defending bases would be a bit above playing the story missions. There we go. Nice. And so what is my favorite thing about Generation Zero? Combat, definitely. It's always been the combat. And what is my least favorite thing? Probably I'm gonna have to go with the progression system right now. It's the thing that's feeling kind of maybe the most dated along the way. How often do I talk to other people about playing Generation Zero? All the frickin' time, man. And if I could choose any playstyles regardless of the build, optimization, efficiency, meta, or any of that stuff, please select up to 3. So I'm gonna go with the stealth sniper, the run and gun, and the tactician. There's a little bit of melee brawler in there, but those would be the primary 3. And think about the way I currently interact with Gen Z. How would you describe your playstyle in a few words? Thorough. Or at least that's what I try to be. Now, we're getting to some interesting questions because I'm really curious how things are on your dude's ends, where it comes to like how things are for performance and optimization, whether or not you're facing a lot of crashes or a lot of frame drops, or any sort of performance issues. For me, I rarely ever face any performance issues here in Generation Zero. So the number of game crashes significantly increases my frustration levels. And I'm gonna put down disagree because I don't think I've ever actually had a solid crash on PC since I've swapped over. If I have, it's been far and few between. I often get frustrated by frequent frame drops, and again, I'm going to put down disagree because I really barely ever encounter frame drops except for maybe a few random locations. The game did not function as expected with my hardware and peripherals, strongly disagree. And then the co-op multiplayer feature works as well as I would expect it to, and I'm going to put down disagree, but that's just for my own issues. I've had problems with inviting people into my game pretty much ever since I swapped over to PC as well. So that's my primary issue. But the other thing too is I would kind of like to see multiplayer maybe get a little bit of an overhaul and have lobbies and be a more robust system. But either way, moving on. Please indicate how much you agree with the following statements. The game provides me with all the information I need to play it the way I want to. Strongly agree. Controls and options do what I expect them to, i.e. the game does not fight me. Again, strongly agree. I'm able to progress through the game, content, and missions without any problems. Strongly agree. I did not want to play more after the first 2 hours of gameplay. Strongly disagree. And my couple thousand hours disagree. Character creation has the options I need to create the character that I want to play as, and I'm gonna put down strongly disagree, because again, character creation is one of those things that could maybe do with a bit of an update. And then the current accessibility options do not meet my needs or preferences. I'm gonna put down strongly disagree for that. Now for our next set of questions here, the core game loop is entertaining, strongly agree. The game narrative, characters, and missions are engaging. I'm going to put down strongly agree, because really it's the world and narrative of Generation Zero that is something that I really hold on to here. The game restricts me from the way I want to play. I'm going to put down disagree, strongly disagree on that one. The game offers a variety of things that I can engage with while playing. I'm going to put down I'm going to put down just agree for that one. And then I don't feel appropriately rewarded for the time and effort that I spend in the game. Ooh, that's a hard question. I'm gonna have to put down agree, because I really feel like loot overall and loot quality in Generation Zero could equally do with some improvements. So for the next question, I decided to fill this one out early because there's quite a bit that's happened over the span of 2022 to kind of go through here. But for question number 30, please identify how satisfied you were with the features that were added or updated during 2022. And for the first one, procedural missions, I put down neutral. The missions themselves are fun, but could definitely be a lot longer. As well, the loot could be improved upon greatly for those. The Semla event, I put down very satisfied. I'm always happy with the Semla event. For the experimental weapons, I put down satisfied. I think that there could have been more experimental weapons, and that would have made things very satisfied. For the new schematic tree, I'm very satisfied with that. I quite enjoy its addition to the game. For the safe house hints, I was dissatisfied with that. I haven't really engaged with them at all, and I don't think that they're entirely a necessary thing here in the game. For the main menu carousel revamp, I put down neutral for that. It's a nice thing, but it's not really anything that I have too much of an opinion on. For the free weapon skins, I'm very satisfied with that, and weapon skins as a whole, I think have been really, really good. The Apple Killer mission, very satisfied with that, as well, like the whole conclusion and the mission chain and stuff. I really enjoy how it was like a fresh spin on things here in Generation Zero. For Tactical Equipment Pack number 2, I put down satisfied for that. For Building Blocks mission, I put down very dissatisfied for that. The Building Blocks mission is still broken, so hopefully at some point that could get fixed up, and then maybe I'll be able to have a better opinion of it. And then lastly, for the North Coast collectibles, I put down satisfied. I think that if it had have moved the story forwards a little bit more, then it would have been a very satisfied, but I always enjoyed the Generation Zero lore. And for our next question, this one's keeping you on your toes because 5 is the most important and 1 is the least important this time. But think about all the major story narratives in Gen Z. Please order the following list based on how much you'd like to see these in the future. And so I went ahead and ordered this list in the next one already, but taking control of territory with base assaults and defense is probably the least interesting of these. Developing technologies and tactical advantages to fight Phoenix comes up next. Then I put uncovering the mystery of Phoenix and its origins at number 3 because I feel like we're a long way off from actually getting to that plot beat. Then I put down seeing the stories of the Resistance and its fighters because there's still so much to unravel with that. And then for the most important, I put down the Soviet intervention as a faction in the Phoenix conflict because that's kind of the most immediate plot in my mind, and I would like to see that one move forwards, and possibly even reach completion here. And then next up, if community-wide quests like killing a certain number of machines was introduced, would you rather work together or compete against each other? And I would rather work together to reach a common goal, because I feel like that's more in line with Generation Zero and its whole ethos of the resistance and stuff. And then next up, consider how the game rewards you for your efforts. Please rank the following rewards based on how important they'd be to you, 1 being the most important and 5 being the least important. And for me, I put resources as number 1 because that's the thing that keeps you playing with the core gameplay here in the game, and I would really like to see resources get increased in order to kind of compensate for the crafting changes that have happened. Next up, narrative. Narrative and resources are kind of tied for number 1, but narrative is definitely one of the most important parts to me about Generation Zero. So very much I enjoy being rewarded with narrative, with story bits as we go along. Weapon skins comes next because I very much enjoy the weapon skins and what they've added to the game. And then weapons and augments, again, both of these would be tied for number 3, but weapons and augments is always nice. And then lastly is player cosmetics, because I feel like there's enough of those in the game. Now next up, how satisfied were you with the following sound elements of the game? For the music, I'm gonna put down dissatisfied. I really love the soundtrack of Generation Zero, but there's like 3 songs, and it would be awesome if there was just a lot more music in the game. But then when it comes to sound effects and everything else, honestly, just very satisfied. I think it is really well done. How satisfied were you with the following visual elements of the game? The world, I'm going to put down very satisfied. I really enjoy the changes that have come about, the ruination of a lot of the countryside, as well as the introduction of Soviet bases and stuff like that. I really enjoy what's gone on with that. For the character, I'm going to put down neutral, because there really hasn't been too much that's gone on with the character since launch. For enemies, I'm going to put down very satisfied, and for UI, I'm going to put down very satisfied as well. For the enemies, I very much enjoy the Apocalypse machines, as well as the Lynx, the Firebird, and the Wolf. They've all been fantastic additions to the game over the years. And then for the UI, I've always been pleasantly surprised with how the UI has been adapted and evolved as time's gone on. And next up, we have the DLC, the big question. Have you previously purchased any optional DLC for Generation Zero? Yes, I have. And then for our next set of questions, do you purchase DLC as a bundle or individually? I buy it individually, just kind of as it comes along. Which DLC have you purchased so far in 2023? Geez, I can't remember what actually dropped in 2023. I'm pretty sure that these are the 4 that's come out this year, so I'm just going to mark down those ones. What is my preferred option for DLC? Bigger releases every 3 to 6 months, frequent smaller content on a monthly basis, a mix of big and small, but at least new free or paid content once per month. And I think I'm gonna go with bigger releases. Normally I do the mix of big and small, but it seems like all we get lately are small DLCs, and it would be great to see a bigger DLC come out. What type of small DLC, hey, there you go. What type of small DLC would you be interested in us exploring in the future? More weapons packs, definitely. More buildings packs. We only got 2, I think, so far. I think we're doing pretty good for equipments. Vehicle packs would be great, especially if it could expand on how many vehicles we have in the game. Machine pets, hey, heck yeah, sure. Character cosmetic packs and weapon cosmetic packs, not so much. And then shortcuts, absolutely not. And then for the last question on this page, do you feel the DLC you have purchased was fairly priced? And personally for me, I feel like the price is fair for all of these packs. The camo weapon skins, now that it's got more skins to the pack, feels more worthwhile. But the two that I feel that the price is too high is the tactical equipment packs. I feel like those should be cheaper priced and maybe more accessible to players, because it is very niche and expands on the gameplay in kind of more odd ways that you just don't see very often, and so sometimes the price for that feels a little bit too high, all things considered. For question 42, if you could change one thing about Generation Zero right now, what would it be? And what I wrote down is the one thing I would change is how fixes are handled. Hotfixes make a huge difference, and if we could see Generation Zero change its updates from its rigid form to something more fluid that handles problems as they arise, it would be for the better, I think, overall for Generation Zero. More hotfixes and more fixes in general, I think, would create a lot of goodwill in the community, and as well, potentially would crush some problems as they arise, like, really quickly, so they wouldn't sit and fester, So that's just my 2 cents on things, though. And with that, we've reached the end of the survey. So is there anything else you'd like to share with the game team? And as always, we're going to sign off with our good old Stay Golden Pony Boy. And so with that, we conclude the player survey for 2023 here. And I want to know, as we wrap things up, how do you feel about the survey? If you haven't filled it out yet, links will be in the description and in a pinned comment below. But for now, thank you for watching the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.